Hey everyone, how's it going? Season 5 Reloaded went live last Friday in Cold War, and in today's video we're going to be breaking down everything that was added and I'll share my thoughts on it. On the outset, it doesn't appear that a lot changed with Season 5 Reloaded, but what Treyarch added with this update has the potential to fundamentally change how Cold War Zombies is played. They definitely went for the quality over quantity approach with this update, which I very much appreciate. But without any further ado, let's get started. For me personally, the best feature with Season 5 Reloaded is the Rampage Inducer, which essentially acts as a difficulty selector for all round-based maps. To activate the Rampage Inducer in your game, all you need to do is spawn into whatever round-based map you want to play and find the Rampage Inducer. On D Machine, it's just next to the stairs on the spawn room right here. On Firebase Z, when you spawn into the map, you go up the stairs on your left, take a right at this door, and it'll be on this desk here. And on Marauder Toten, it will be in the spawn building on this table right here. If you're playing solo, you just need to press and hold whatever button you have assigned to interact, and you're good to go. But if you're in a co-op match, it's put to a vote. And every player needs to vote yes for it to be turned on. And if you ever get tired of having the Rampage Inducer active, you can repeat the same process to turn it off. Once the Rampage Inducer is active, zombies will move at lightning speed. The slowest zombies that spawn in will shamble towards you relatively quickly, while the fastest zombies make the Varrock super sprinters from World at War look slow by comparison. There isn't a health buff associated with this feature, so they'll take the same amount of firepower to bring down, meaning the challenge is all about your speed, reaction time, and movement. There's also no pause between rounds anymore. You have to do everything mid-round, which only adds to the intensity. This also has the effect of speeding up your game tenfold. Normally getting to round 20 takes around 35 to 40 minutes, but I've been getting to round 20 in around 25 minutes on average. Treyarch also did a thing that's very unlike themselves by allowing you to complete the Easter egg using the Rampage Inducer. I'm not sure if they're well, since clearly they aren't behaving like themselves, giving player all this freedom and whatnot. I'll see if I can get a wellness check in for the developers. Joking aside, of all the new features Treyarch has added into zombies with Cold War, the Rampage Inducer might just be my favorite. It's in the top 5 without a doubt. One of the worst parts of zombies for experienced players is how unchallenging the early rounds are, which is made worse by just how slow they are. As an experienced player, it can take 10 minutes before I start having fun in a traditionally structured game. The Rampage Inducer fixes that issue flawlessly. The intensity and challenge is high right from the start of the game and makes restarting a game after a long match far less tedious. Aside from the major DLC maps, I wouldn't say anything Treyarch has added into Cold War with these seasonal updates would be worth completely reinstalling the game for, until now. I wouldn't ever recommend someone completely reinstall Cold War to try out Depth Perception or Tesla Storm, for example. The Rage Inducer, however, is wholeheartedly worth reinstalling all 140 gigabytes of the game for. Jesus, this game needs to be smaller. It completely changes how this game is played in the best way possible, and if you don't like it, you don't have to use it. It's that simple. I've given a lot of praise for this feature, but that doesn't mean it's without fault. By far the biggest issue with this feature is currently a cap set at round 20. Once you hit round 21, the game returns to normal as though you never had it on. And in case you were wondering, the transition between Rampage and regular gameplay is not smooth. One of the core pillars of zombies, as well as all horde and tower defense style games, is the escalating difficulty. Ideally, each round should be harder than the next to keep the player engaged and to keep the game interesting. Once the Rampage Inducer ends, the game becomes immediately less interesting, and I usually just exfil due to how slow and boring the game feels afterward. The round cap should be set to the same round as the zombies' health cap, if not completely removed. Until then, Treyarch will be handicapping their own feature. Another potential flaw for some is that this isn't available in Outbreak. This is only available on the round-based maps, which is a little bit annoying, but Outbreak is such a different beast, I can understand it being absent. I would love to see it in Outbreak if at all possible, but I'm not going to lose sleep over it. But speaking of Outbreak, while it didn't get the Rampage Inducer feature, it did get a couple of new features of its own, most notably the Armada region. The discussion around this region has been overwhelmingly positive. People in the community seem to unanimously agree that it is one of, if not the best region in the game, and it's easy to understand why. The setting is of course stunning in and of itself, and is entirely different to any of the other regions currently in Outbreak. I've been pretty lukewarm to all the new Outbreak regions Treyarch has introduced over the game's life cycle, but this one is actually worth looking into for people like myself that aren't totally interested in the game mode for one simple reason: map travel. Since day one, the biggest problem Outbreak has had is getting around these gigantic empty maps, and there hasn't really been a lot done to address this issue. Armada does not have this problem at all. There are zip lines that connect all these boats together, meaning you can travel hundreds of meters across the map in an instant without spending any points. No need to find a launch pad, no need to worry about finding a car or having a Tempest destroy your vehicle. Just walk up to a zip line, press a button, and you're where you need to be. And all of the zip lines are conveniently located too. It never takes more than 15 seconds to get to an objective, whereas every other region can take minutes to get from one side of the map to the other. This one change makes Outbreak far more enjoyable. If pace of play has always been your biggest issue with the game mode, then this is a map you will love. The only problem is, since there are so many regions in Outbreak, the chances of you getting into a game of Armada are pretty slim. So while this doesn't fix the game mode as a whole, it is a strong step in the right direction. Hopefully Treyarch learns from this map and implements these features into all future maps. And lastly, the only other major update to come with the launch of Season 5 Reloaded is the Black Chest side quest in Outbreak. This is far and away the least exciting thing about this update, and I would go as far to say this isn't a good side objective at all. This side objective is structured exactly like the Golden Chest side quests in Outbreak, but instead of spawning in a ton of boss zombies that you have to fight, the game spawns in these 3 black orbs that you have to shoot and kill while a horde of zombies attacks you. They bounce all over the place, they'll charge at you and deal damage. It's hard to tell where and when they might change direction, and the reward isn't much different from the Golden Chest side quests, aside from the possibility of receiving a bronze chalice. So overall, I'm not a big fan of this side quest at all. It might be my least favorite side objective in the entire game mode, but on the bright side, it is a completely optional part of the game that you can just ignore, which is exactly what I'll be doing in most, if not all, future Outbreak games. And that was everything Treyarch added into Season 5 Reloaded. Overall, despite not adding a lot with Season 5 Reloaded, I'm really happy with the few additions they made. This will easily be one of the best seasonal updates the game has looking back, in spite of how little was added into the game, and should do a lot to lead us up to the next round-based map that will hopefully release at the start of Season 6. But of course, let me know what you think of Season 5 Reloaded in the comments below. Thanks for watching, like the video if you made it this far, subscribe to the channel if you want to see more, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.